Welcome to the Hardcore Closer Podcast. I'm Ryan Stewman, founder of HardcoreCloser.com, and this podcast is all about helping you, the salesperson, close more sales. And look, whether you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, whatever it is that you sell, this podcast is dedicated to help you generate higher quality leads, increase your closing ratios, and show you how to charge premium fees for the items you sell so you can get paid what you're worth. What's up, closers? Welcome to episode 79 of the THC podcast, and I am glad you're here. If you're a first timer, be sure to check out other previous episodes and do the show yourself and me a favor by leaving us a review on iTunes. Look, there's at least 78 other episodes, depending on when you're listening to this in the future. And the way that I could, like the fuel that gets us in front of people just like yourself so that we can change your mind and change your life is by giving us reviews on iTunes. Here's a great example right here. It says, no BS, straight to the point. Love me some THC. You know, I love me some THC too. 5 stars right here by Kellen Rushbook with Degreeless Jobs. That's kind of cool. It says, I just came across Ryan Stewman from his Facebook group. He would be referring to our Facebook group that is 60,000 savages strong. Sales Talk with Sales Pros. You can go to salestalkgroup.com and join us there. But he said, just came across Ryan Stewman from his Facebook group and have been listening to the podcast all day. If you're not listening to the Hardcore Closer, you're leaving easy cash on the table during your sales. Kellen Rushbook, founder of Degreelessjobs.com. Post your skilled trade job openings and find skilled workers today. See, that's the fuck I'm talking about. See, this is what gets me excited. Kylan, first of all, that's a kick-ass name. Kylen. I like that shit, man. It sounds Irish as fuck, and I dig it. Second of all, like he's smart enough to listen to the show and actually take action. See, I love action takers. I love them, right? Because listen, the guy listens to the show and I'm like, hey, I'll plug your fucking business on here. Leave me a review and I'll plug your business. Kylan listened to it for a few times. This is just a review from just a couple days ago. Kylan listened to it. He posted he is the founder of Degreelessjobs.com, where you can post your skilled job openings and find skilled workers today. That's what I'm talking about. Now you get to plug on the THC podcast, which, by the way, is over 500,000. They call them downloads, but I don't even know what the fuck that's all about. But like over 500,000 listens strong right now. And to some people, they might, some folks might get 500,000 listens a week, and good for them. We don't do any marketing other than word of mouth. We ask for referrals, and we just try to deliver good content. And then we don't run traffic to any of these shows. So the fact that we've got 500,000 in almost 2 years is it makes me feel a little special. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to people with kick-ass names like Kylan Rushbrook. Like, Kylan, I want to see you in the ring. That's what I'm talking about. Kylan, like, in this corner, all the way from Degreelessjobs.com. It's Kylan Rushbrook. That sounds like somebody that could just fuck somebody. It's a cool-ass name. So, all right, before we jump into the episode, let's get real for a second. You're here to learn about how you can do better with sales, right? You're here because you're listening to my voice, because you want to be motivated, you want to be inspirated, and you want to be able to do the work so that you're perspirated, right? And one of the things is, like, we offer a lot of free content. This show's going to have, every single week, 20 to 30 minutes worth of awesome, actionable strategies that you can get into and take action on. But I want to invite you to get a little bit more intimate with me, right? Let's just like crawl between the sheets, right? No weird stuff. Keep your hands to yourself, but let's talk for a minute here. If you think this show's awesome, imagine what you get when you shell out a little cash, right? Like, this is just our free content. This is just our teaser stuff, bunch of high level stuff that will help you. And those of you that are extremely smart, which a lot of the listeners obviously are of this show, will be able to take this stuff and figure it out, implement it. But here's the thing. What if you were not only be able to get the technical side of this, like the details, the accountability to hold you accountable to do it, and a network of people doing it alongside of you that would motivate you to go further than you can by yourself? Like, if you have never been in a mastermind setting, I want you to think about this. Religious books say one person can put 1 to flight, 2 can put 10 to flight, 3 or more can put 10,000 to flight. So I want you to think about this for just a second. If you get together with the right people in the right place and the right time, the right things will happen in your life. I can think every time that I've ever gotten in trouble, it's because I was surrounded with the wrong people. When I was in the 7th grade, my principal's name was Marcus Everett. And he used to always tell me, he'd say, Mr. Stewman, if you hang around rattlesnakes, you're going to end up getting bit. And at the time, as a young man, I didn't really know what the fuck he was talking about, right? Like, what's he talking about, man? I don't know about snakes. I don't like snakes. They're venomous. And of course, if you hang around rattlesnakes, you're going to get bit. What the fuck's this old man talking about? But here's the thing. he was saying if you hang around bad people, bad things happen. You hang around the wrong people at the wrong time, the wrong things happen. I've been in those situations. You know my history. I've been to prison. And I didn't go to prison because I was at the right place at the right time. I went to prison because I was at the wrong people in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I'm giving you an opportunity with something I've created for you, a mastermind setting to where you can get in with the right people, the right place, the right time, because I've been on the flip side of that too. I've been in masterminds, and that's what's taken me from leaving federal prison in 2008 with $25 to my name to building a $6 million a year empire that we've built so far from scratch. No JVs, no bank loans, no business partners, no bullshit. We've done it from scratch. And the reason why I share that with you is because of the power of the masterminds that I've been belong to, the power of the network that I've built. And I'd like to open that network, that power, and that mastermind to you. We call it Break Free Academy Entourage. And listen, we send out newsletters. We've got digital training, Facebook ads, sales, marketing, advertising, everything that you could possibly want to learn, everything that you could possibly need in order to grow, scale, and leverage your business against advertising. But at the same time, there's a network of people in there that are doing big things. We got people like my man Kenneth Travis, close a couple $100 million in mortgages a year. My man Darren Copeland, same thing, couple $100 million a year. We've got Steve Krebs, dude. This guy is a mindset, like he's a mindset mechanic. That's what you need to call yourself, Steve, the mindset mechanic, because that's exactly what he is. He'll break you down and work on your mind. He gave me some of the best advice ever. I said, man, I wake up and I get mad, Steve. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Every day, I got the perfect fucking life, and every day I wake up mad as a motherfucker. He said, well, when you wake up in the morning, man, go kick the shit out of something. Go get you some pads. Go get something. Go fucking fight something. You want to fight? Fight. Don't fight the urge, but go fight whatever you got to fight. This shit's changed my fucking life, you guys. You get to surround yourself with people like him. He's also one of the coaches at Wake Up Warrior. Russell Brunson's a member of it. Frank Kern is a member of it. And I'm just saying that we've got a mastermind with people that are doing all sorts of things across the board. We got Nicholas Elliott, who's the sales manager for Lady Boss Weight Loss. They're doing like, ungodly amount of money. You see them all over the internet probably. And Nick is their sales guy. So you get to learn not just from me, not just the training that we have, but a network of closers in the Closer Nation, what we call the Break Free Academy Entourage, doing big things. I'd like to invite you to join us. At least just take a look at it. You can get started for 7 days for $1. That's right, 7 days for $1. I believe that you'll like the program so much that if you check it out for a week and you just spend $1, stick with me for a week, I think you'll open up your wallet to a whole lot more because you'll see a whole lot more inside. So go to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage and you'll be able to take advantage of all of that there. So let's jump into this week's episode, everybody. We're going to talk about 5 because that's what we do on this show. We are the king. We owned it at first. Like Robert and I, we were just like, Robert's the producer. We call him Low Energy Robert, just for those new folks around here. But he's the guy that produces the show here. And we kind of joked about, like, we always seem to do 5, but 5 works. It's just the nick of time for us to, get this episode to where it's just about 20 to 30 minutes. So it's enough commute on your way to and from work every day. But 5 just seems to be our thing. And so since it seemed to be our thing, we just decided to own that shit. So you can just expect us to fucking stick with the number 5 now, in case you were wondering what's going on with that. But today we're going to talk about 5, the 5 ways you can use LinkedIn to close more sales. I know that we talk about Facebook a lot on this show. And we talk about, advertising and social media and stuff like that. And LinkedIn is a powerful network. The average user on LinkedIn makes $100,000 a year. The average. I follow some really big stars over on LinkedIn that are absolutely killing it. And I see that these people just make a ton of money from LinkedIn. I've always focused on Facebook. That's been my platform. But I hired a guy last year, Jakob Spitzky, hired me and joined the tribe, which is our high-end mastermind, and which is an invitation-only thing. So he hired us, joined the tribe, and he's a LinkedIn expert. Well, in February of this year, I got kicked off of Facebook for a month. I don't remember what I did. I think I told somebody to go kill themselves sarcastically, and Facebook took it as a threat. And so anyway, I got kicked off. So I focused on LinkedIn, and he coached me through the entire month. And there is a lot. And now let me just say this again. There is a lot of potential to make money on LinkedIn. And right now we're doing about 6 figures a year from LinkedIn. To some of you, that may seem like an awful lot. And to me, it seems like a lot. But to some of you who are using Facebook, like we use Facebook and we make multiple 7 figures a year. And the only reason that we're not making multiple 7 figures a year is because our interest and our list has been built on Facebook. Had I look back in retrospect, I wish that I would have built more on LinkedIn. And so I'm a little late to the game over there, but I've already got, let me pull up and see what we got going on over here. Even being late to the game, I have, does it not tell you how many followers and shit you got? I think I got like 12,000 followers or something like that. I'm trying to scroll that thing, whatever it is, right? I'm trying to scroll it right this second. See, in my network, it says I have 7,963 connections as of this right now. And I'm looking, I got a pending one from Daniel Geffen, which is Let Me Pick Your Brain podcast, which is good stuff. But so I've got 7,964 connections now on LinkedIn, and the average person out of that group, and it's not something to be overlooked. So let's talk about 5 ways you can use LinkedIn to close more sales. Number 1 is comments. And some of these things are going to seem, at first you're going to be like, well, no shit, Sherlock, comments, huh? You should like leave comments and you just make money. Kind of, almost. Just hear me out. With LinkedIn, it is a very quiet site. Like when I post on Facebook, I get 300-400 likes, a couple hundred comments, there's lots of engagement and lots of exposure to people and all that good stuff. And with LinkedIn, there's not as many people getting a lot of likes. There's not a lot of people that are getting a lot of engagement. LinkedIn is one of those sites where you pop in once a day, you check it out, maybe you make a post and you roll out. Whereas Facebook's something that you're scrolling, looking for news, the average person anyways, you scroll in looking for news and all that stuff. So you have to understand LinkedIn can be a little bit slower, but it's also slower for everybody else, not just for you. So what I mean by that is if you're not getting much engagement, neither is hardly anybody else. So here's what I know. If you'll start commenting on people's posts, they'll get notifications. First of all, LinkedIn will email the shit out of you. So if you comment on somebody's post, they're not only going to get notified in the app on their phone and the website on their desktop. LinkedIn's most likely going to send them an email too saying, Ryan Stewman just commented on your post. And while most posts go uncommented, the whole reason people post on LinkedIn so they'll be noticed. So you're obliging them, you're giving them what they want. And so it gives you an opportunity to engage with them and for them to respond and stuff. So comments are huge. And so when you're engaging on other people's posts and nobody else is, guess what? You don't have anybody else trying to roach your deal, right? You leave a comment on somebody's post and nobody else is commenting, then good. You don't have to worry about your competition saying some shit and you guys have to go back and forth. I saw a post in the ClickFunnels group on Facebook where the guy, and these always crack me up, the guy's like, hey, who's the best at Facebook ads? And there was 2 people going back and forth. They were kind of like, I like one of them a whole lot. That's why I'm not naming them, but they were kind of embarrassing themselves trying to like compete against each other for this dude's business. And I chimed in. I'm like, fuck this dude. Neither one of you should be like over here, like acting all needy and competitive and shit for wanting this guy's business, man. Fuck him. Let him make a decision and move on. And so like nothing's worse than that though. It's like you're commenting, somebody's like, oh, hey, I'm the best at Facebook ads. And then somebody else is like, well, if you really like that person, you'll love me. It's some bullshit, right? So on LinkedIn, you got a lot more desolate posts. And it allows you to be like the one man wolf pack when it comes to prospecting people. So make sure you go to LinkedIn. This is what you need. You need to go to LinkedIn. You need to make you a dream 25 list. Who are 25 people from LinkedIn you would love to do business with? Then what you need to do is every day you need to go through and look at those 25 people's profiles. And if they post, you need to leave a comment on their post. Within a week of doing this, those people will all know who you are. They'll all reach out to you. They'll all thank you for the engagement and they'll all be familiar with you. And that's when you get an opportunity to sell them. Number 2 is the shared post. So right now, a big thing on LinkedIn is like the LinkedIn blog. And so a lot of people are writing blogs. So if you're a good writer, awesome, then you should be writing your own blogs by all means on LinkedIn. It's not like WordPress or any of these other sites where you got to pay for it or anything else. You get a free blog on LinkedIn. It's got awesome SEO. It's real easy to navigate. But here's the thing. A lot of the people that are trying to come up, they're practicing their blogs over on LinkedIn. So if you see a good one, make sure that you share it. If you see somebody has written a blog post, man, comment on that blog post and engage that shared post because that's saying, hey, you took the time to write this blog post. I'm taking the time to write this comment. I appreciate your contribution here. And people write blog posts because they want to be noticed. People make those shared posts is what LinkedIn calls them. They make those shared posts because they want to be noticed. And so when you do that, you're obliging them. And so if you're sharing their stuff for them, that gives them their attention. Again, it's just like a comment. LinkedIn's going to send them an email. They're going to get a notification on their desktop and their app on their phone and so on and so forth. So when people take the time to blog, when people take the time to write long posts or to share their blog posts, man, share their stuff on LinkedIn. Even if it's not good, if they're on your Dream 25 list, like every day go through there, share one person's stuff, comment on somebody else's stuff, send a direct message to somebody, like mix it up. But listen, if you share people's posts and you leave comments on there, what happens is you're getting their attention. And attention is one of the first sales in the closing process. You see, the close is the grand finale in a series of smaller agreements. The close is the grand finale. So if you think of it, fireworks, like the closings when all the fireworks are going off at once, right? The pressure's up. You ask for the money. You know, it's like you're all in. But along the way, one of the first things is we got to get the prospect's attention. And then once we get their attention, we've got to get them to take action, which is number 3 right here, calls to action. We'll get into that in a minute. But then we got to get them to take action. And then we got to get them to keep agreeing to take action all along the way until we have earned the ability to close them. And so the first thing, leaving comments. The second thing, sharing people's posts. That starts the first part of the selling process, the closing process, by getting their attention. All right, number 3, calls to action. You know, when you post on LinkedIn, you shouldn't just be posting nonchalantly. The thing about LinkedIn is it's not a site for your puppies or babies or kitties or any of that stuff like Facebook is. It's a business site. So one of the things that I see a lot of people make mistakes about and that make mistakes on LinkedIn, and we do it prolifically, is we don't make mistakes prolifically. We actually call people to action. So we make a post on LinkedIn. Here's an awesome article I read on Inc. magazine. And by the way, if you'd like to learn more about this stuff, join our program, Break Free Academy Entourage, at breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. You see, that's a call to action. You know, you might sell insurance and you might say, hey, if you're a victim, and prayers out to Houston. You know, I'm not a religious person, but we, just to take a quick side note, we've sent about $10,000 in supplies down there in the last 2 days. My sales team's down there on boats rescuing people right now. I got some badasses that work for me. They're down there on boats rescuing people. The South helps us out a lot here in North Texas. They're in tornado season, so we're really trying to step up. So if you're from Houston, our thoughts and prayers for those that are religious really go out to you guys. We know that you're strong, though. You Texas strong, so you pull through it. So back here to calls to action. So if you're an insurance agent, you might mention, hey, if your house is flooded in Houston, I'm here for free assessments. Reach out to me at XYZ. Right. So you just got to make sure that you're making calls to action, not just nonchalant post on there. You see, I share a lot of hardcorecloser.com blog posts. And if you're not signed up at hardcorecloser.com, what the fuck, man? Get over there, put your email in. And with hardcorecloser.com, my blog posts are the call to action. So I share a lot of stuff over there where the blog post does the selling for me. And my job is to get their attention and then sell them into clicking that blog post. And the blog post has the call to action. If you're writing blog posts or share posts on LinkedIn, make sure that you put calls to action at the end too. It should be 80% content, 20% brand awareness, or 10% brand awareness and 10% call to action is how I structure my blog posts. Number 4 is reviews. Now, asking people for reviews is like when they go to your profile, right, on LinkedIn, they go over there, they wind up on your profile, and then they can scroll down and they can write a review. And so, I'm sorry, I used the wrong word there. It is an endorsement. I thought it was a review. So it is an endorsement. And so somebody can go over there and just simply click, that they endorse you for a skill that you have. And so the key to this is get like 4 or 5 of your close friends to go to LinkedIn and endorse you for like the top 5 skills you want to be endorsed for. Then what you do is you go and you endorse other people, right? You got your friends to endorse you so that you got the top 5 things you want showing up on your profile. Then what your job is to go out on that Dream 25 list and leave 1 or 2 endorsements a day. It's as simple as clicking a button. All you got to do is just boom, you go to their profile, click a button, they're endorsed. You don't have to write nothing. You don't have to write shit. You just endorse them. It's just like you click a button. It really is super easy. And what happens is they get an alert, an email, all those things that we talked about. And they're like, oh, check this out. Stewman endorsed me. That's a good ass feeling. Well, what happens is they usually want to reciprocate. And so you get endorsed as well. So when people show up on your LinkedIn profile, which by the way, when someone Googles your name, LinkedIn should be one of the first things that shows up. Someone shows up on your LinkedIn profile, they see that you've been endorsed for the skills that you want to be endorsed because you've had your friends write the particular skills up there. So endorsements are huge. And number 5 is recommendations. So endorsements are one button. Recommendations actually where you give somebody a testimonial. And so going and giving somebody a testimonial will oftentimes prompt them to give you a testimonial. You can also ask people that you know and have done business with for testimonials. This gives you a couple of options, right? A, it gets back in front of people that you've done business with before, and you get a chance for them to go, oh yeah, you know what? I need to hit you up about whatever it is that you sell, right? And then it also gives you a chance to follow up with them, get some engagement, get some social proof on your profile. Because like I said, the first thing that's going to show up in most cases when people Google your name is a LinkedIn profile, especially if you got it filled out correctly. So when people show up, you want to see that people are endorsing you, people are recommending you, but it also gives you an opportunity to go out in front of prospects and recommend them, because what happens is they're like, oh shit, Stewman recommended me. That's really cool. I wonder what he's up to, and it allows you to start that conversation. And conversations work like this. How's things going? How you been? How's business, right? That's what we do, especially on a site like LinkedIn. We want to know how things are and how business is going. And so that gives you an opportunity to talk shop with that person. And again, talking shop and getting that attention and getting them to talk shop and getting them to ask you how business is so that you have an opportunity to ask them for business, because business is great, but we could always use more, right? That's again, going along that series of sales until you wind up at the grand finale of closing. So listen, like LinkedIn is a strong site. You can't overlook it. You need to at least be spending 10, 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn. Make sure you're posting once a day. Go create you a dream 25 list of 25 people that are on LinkedIn that you can hit up and check out their profile every day. It shouldn't take you that long. Share their post. Make sure that when you post or when you write posts that you got calls to action. Make sure that you're endorsing people and getting endorsements. That's going to be huge. And number 5, writing and receiving recommendations. If you'll just create a habit of going to LinkedIn for 10 to 30 minutes every day and doing these 5 really simple, really quick things, you'll see your presence there grow. You'll see leads start showing up in your inbox. You'll have people reaching out to you, wanting your services, wanting to know more about what it is that you do, which ultimately leads you to ask for the business so that you can do what you do best, close the sale. So I'm glad that you were here this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Matter of fact, I know you enjoyed the show. Share it with somebody who needs to be using LinkedIn. And before you leave, I'd like to give you a free gift. You can go over to elevatortothetop.com and you can get a free paperback copy of my best-selling book on sales. It's everything you need to know from day one to retirement. It's elevatortothetop.com. We'll send you a free paperback copy. And if you work in real estate, insurance, or mortgages, make sure you give your clients the best closing gift ever, which is a free security system so that they can sleep well at night knowing that their family and their belongings are protected. You can sign them up for free at yourfreealarm.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll catch you next week on the THC Hardcore Closer Podcast.